Oh,
What? Whoa.
wow.
What the hell did that what? How
Wow.
did the recording stop and start again when I didn't press anything?
Because it's all part of the same thing, isn't it? So this is part
Ah!
two. We just had our recording interrupted by those listening to what it is that we're saying, which is that we have a receipt from the HMCTS now saying that the information that we have got them to search for, which is off the charge sheets with the charge, there's a unique reference number on there in some instances, not in others, and that they have gone into their system and they can tell us that there is no charges. There is a case, but in this case, the individual must have been, by their presumption, we haven't got any evidence for this, that the charges must have been dropped or he was not found guilty. Now, there would be a record of that. And if somebody has had the charges dropped and they've been found not guilty, then why the fuck are we being sent a fine? Why is the same number, the case number that the Ministry of Justice says there's got no record of any incarceration, they've got no record of anything to do with any of this data cohort, then HMCTS say that there is a record, but that it hasn't got anything in it. We can recognise the number of the case number that you have sent us, but there's nothing there.
There's
Well,
nothing
sure.
in there. Yeah.
No,
It's like a blank sheet.
because so that's why they've had to go and rerun or enact, let's say, the exemplifications so that they can then try and cover the great big holes that they've in the ledgers that the action that they've taken against us in a bid to try to indemnify themselves based on a presumption that, but if we do this to these people at this point and this point and this point and this point, then we will get their consent. But it's
Mm.
forced. In the end, even if you keep me here forever, and in the end, whether it's somebody who you've kept for 6 months or 3 months or 2 weeks or 1 hour, and they give you their consent, it's by force.
Yeah.
Therefore, it doesn't. People stop. Please stop when on your own documents. You do not put v.c. I'm under duress. If you're writing a document, if you're writing a writ on behalf of yourself or somebody in your community, you want that to stand. We can't accept documents. We've said all along that are served without a signature and without an endorsement and without indemnification. Where is the indemnification coming, the funding coming from? Where is the funding coming from to continue these cases? And what if you lose? That's what we said when we went into one of the magistrates' court.
The gramercy thing. Mm.
The rule of law is where is the bond that you are going to use to indemnify your shit show with? That was what
Mm.
we asked. And it turns out that they haven't got any, and that they were going to go and get this funding. This funding was floating funding for the floating charges. If we got any of these charges to stick, then we could go to this funding and we could pay for our costs and our legal fees and all of this because we get the money back from the prison, the shares that and the profits that we've made by putting these people in the prison. We get our money back from there. And
Mm.
then and so that this Elisabetta Sciali
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. The
case,
gramercy one. Yeah.
yeah, is the exemplification of that they you can't get funding upfront on a presumption that you're going to be able to make profit from forcing people to contract with names that have already been copyrighted over here in the commercial court. So we had to set up Universal Law Community Trust to compete, to offer valid competition. You can go back to the 2020 recordings for that, about why it was that we created this, because if they privatized everything and they didn't have any competition, it was a monopoly, wasn't it? So
Mm.
that's why we did what we did. And then we've had to use the competitions and markets legislation, and we've rewritten that because obviously they didn't tell you So now
Mm.
everybody's learning about what it was that we talked about the conditions of the contract, the 5 things that you need in a contract. I'm watching them speak these words on the TV. They're teaching everybody what it is that they needed to know and putting it in as an education platform into schools that we talked about before. So they have to teach everybody their rights. Well, anything else is wrong, isn't it? If
Mm.
everybody, nobody knows what their rights are, then it works very well for these people to come and usurp their minds, and they say, "Oh, makes them susceptible to conspiracy theories," while they conspire against you. Wow! So it
Works out
really,
pretty well for them till they get
well,
caught.
it did, and so this is what I was saying about going into people saying, I mean, I know you sounded a bit shocked when I said if they bring back Angela Rayner, I'm going to contract, right? Now,
Mm.
because at this point, right, all of our terms and conditions and what Universal Law Community Trust set out as you're not using any of that thing that you defined as commerce, commercial titles, equity. You can't use any of that upon this rock and upon the people of this rock until all of these things are done, until it's a benefit for the,
Mm.
well, first of all, the rock. And so implying that we're just going to go and drill some gas out of an old gas field is the people need to stop panicking and just watch all of this become undone, really.
Mm.
And eventually it'll get to the point where in October, for example, you will be able to go into the courts. We will be able to go and sit in these roles that we've newly restored under universal law and be able to do it, under a title that you want to define yourself as, because it's not that somebody can come along and copyright your name. That can't happen. But you have been, we all have been given these names and effectively that definition of that name. So we had to clean the definition. We had to redefine what it was that was being interpreted as what it meant when you said the answer to the question, what is your name? It doesn't fucking matter what my name is. Do you want to know if I can come and do this now on behalf of, instead of 22 million people, 7 billion people? Because I'm more than happy to come to do that. That's what I came here to do. But
Yeah.
we are not going to do it and compromise our conditions and our uh, terms of our agreement, talking about a memorandum of understanding. There is going to be no hypothesis of war because nobody's going to believe in that they are divided anymore.
Yeah, or they get a benefit from war.
Well, the only benefit from war comes about because of the division in the mind that I'm at war with myself,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
inner conflict that I feel inside my own mind because I'm incapacitated and I don't really know what's going on, and I can't apply myself to think of a way that I can sustain myself. So I go to the people who are saying, "Come to us," but hang on, I've only got to come to you because you've nicked my fucking rights. I've only got to
Yeah.
come to you because you kicked me out of my house that the trust has given me, and now you're waiting for me to come and say, I need you to give me a roof over my head, please. Jog the fuck on. We will
Mm.
sleep in the street before we come to these people who've done this to us.
Mm.
And or come to us, get a lawyer. If you don't like it, get a lawyer. If you don't like
Mm.
it, put a court case in. Come and indemnify us in this way. All right, so you can terrorize us, and then we have to come to the court counter and look at the people who are responsible for our unlawful incarceration and say, look what you did to me. And they go, yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, and now those people saying, yeah, we did, didn't we? Go and say that the passport is just a travel document. The social security is not proof of citizenship. So the voter ID, of course, is not proof of citizenship. So they've got no way to prove that anyone can be a citizen anymore.
Exactly. So then there's the definition of citizen. So they've even turned around and said this. Okay, so Let's have a look
That's
at that.
happening here right now, by the
Happening everywhere.
way.
The definition of citizenship belongs in the COVID box with unsubstantiated claim. Why should I have to claim that I'm a citizen anywhere? Well, if you don't, we'll define you as stateless. You can define me as whatever the fuck you like. I'm
Hmm.
not going to get into your box of stateless, citizen, uh, immigrant. Immigrant. You've got the largest portion of immigrants occupying what has been implied as America, so hounding the indigenous people for however long it is, and then waving the flags and saying, "Hey, isn't it great? The land of the fucking free." Hey, bonkers! Completely, you've
Yeah, all
incorporated
the
one,
lunacy has just literally come out the box now. Yeah.
and
That because I
that's it.
think that's all that was there in that box was a complete amount of lunacy. Yeah,
It
that's
was
all that
our
was.
ignorance. It was our ignorance and our love of convenience that they were capitalizing on, really. And the minute that we stop, do
Yeah, but
something
that
about
also through the manipulation of our own electromagnetic fields to be able to communicate into our minds to tell us what to think and not, you know, poison us
yeah,
to a
and
state
not
of low
even that.
frequency that we would just be lazy enough to be like, oh, I'm too tired to do this. Someone else do it for me.
And you were talking about those pylons, right? They shouldn't. I'm not saying that they're a good thing, that they should be there. And if they are doing those things and collecting, they're a barrier to you and your connection to the ether.
Mm,
All of these things that we think that we've been indoctrinated with that are making our lives more convenient. Convenient for what? Turning into a fucking couch potato, watching TV and becoming fat. That's that's it. As long as I've
all
got
for
enough
fucking
food
poison.
to just keep me going so I can watch the TV, so I can sit there and then create unconsciously with my mind as to my interpretation of what it is that I've just been programmed with. There's very well for the people who sell you the fucking shitty food that keeps you going long enough to watch the TV. And all you got to do is go into a prison, as you know, and see it in all of its horrific glory contained in the microcosm inside a cell that is amplified in the macro outside the prison walls where everybody's running around saying, "Oh, we're the land of the free. Let me come and force my freedom upon you." The fuck off.
Yeah, come
No,
into my open air prison.
come over here. Oh, you're going to be out soon. Out where? Or you're going to be free soon. Free from where? Free from free from where? Free from the CCTV that's staring me in the face at every lamppost. Free from where? Free
But,
from
but then again, they got all the flock happening outside. So free from, yeah, literally free from what? You got a whole surveillance state everywhere. Doesn't matter
free
whether
to,
I'm inside a cell or outside.
am I free to go and have to shoplift some food because you've taken me out of my self-sustaining environment and capitalized on it all and then turn me into a criminal because I won't convert my energy into your slave tokens and call me a criminal because I won't join you in your fucking shop that you've trafficked me into without any consent whatsoever. No, you won't have a fucking shop by the time I've finished with you. If you do it all. And that's
That's exactly what I told these guys on Telegram as well. Like, just be careful about what you do, because it's universal
it's
law is the only
universal
place that
law.
you'll end up.
Exactly. If you did people running around talking about universal law and then think that they can coerce it into fitting into something that means that their conscience is covered. Why do you think those idiots are wearing a wig? They're wearing a
Yeah.
wig because they know that if they were allowed, if they were, they know that universal law would pick up that signal coming out of their crown and that they are hypothesizing into that venue and they would be struck down for it. That's
Hmm.
why they're wearing a wig.
Hmm. Yeah, but that's happening to people not wearing wigs now because these guys are not wearing wigs and they're exposing themselves to complete. annihilation, I think, is what complete and
All
utter
I know,
annihilation of their mindset.
I've got a long list of the people who have um, who have broken universal law, broken the agreements that they made in alignment with it, uh, and people who have tried to incriminate us through. I mean, what kind of people are they who want to cause the people who help other people harm? I don't. It's like the worst kind of slave masters.
Yeah.
In the slave plantation, we've got somebody who's giving hope to somebody else. Oh, don't be doing that. How dare you go and give those women hope in prison? Well, what?
And
You're
then on
telling
top of
me,
that, saying that
you're
I'm the
telling,
one, 1160 is the one that's ruined universal law community trust. I was like, what are you talking about?
you're telling these people who've got indefinite prison sentences that they're going to get out. Yeah, I am going to. I'm telling them
Yeah.
they're going to get. That's why I'm here, to get those people out who shouldn't have been put in there for a misdemeanor or a breach in the so-called bail condition because they didn't have a house. Where have you bailed these homeless people to? Where has the system given these people license or tagged them to if they're all homeless? And then they bring them back in saying you breached your license, but the license was in breach of itself in the beginning because you knew that it was ineffective, because these people, you really set them up to fail. The minute that they stepped out of the prison gate, they were in breach of their license. Why? Because they didn't have a house. They didn't
Yeah,
have a vehicle.
exactly. The information was, there was nothing to that information that they put on the pieces of paper because it really didn't exist on the outside. So your license is just a sense to lie. That's it.
It's the systems, it's just the use of the lie that is nonsense to cause these people to believe that they're free, to get them then to come back on recall so that they are that was to exemplify the revolving credit facility. They use the
Mm.
word the revolving door. They have to secure
Yeah, yeah, I heard that as well in Parliament, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is the evidence that we told you all about previously, that you were being used as a revolving credit facility for charging you with a liability and then getting you to discharge the charges. They don't exist. This is the next bit now. Yes, we did it in the civil from 2019 to 2023, and then we put civil into criminal because they had incriminated us using civil code procedural policies. The bit where it said that if there wasn't a contract, we could imply and pretend that there was one, and imply and pretend, hypothesize that you'd agreed to it, and not only had you agreed to it, but you now in breach of it. Wow.
Oh
Which contract
man.
was that then? Was that the birth certificate? Was that article paragraph 33.3 something in CPR that we put in to the King's Bench inside the Royal Courts of Justice that we'd secured? We did what we said that we would do. We said that we would come to the point where all of this was spewing out and corrupting the rest of the bit of the rock using this legal definition. So to JP Morgan and all of the banking system, don't bother even digging a fucking hole in that place that you once called London,
They
because
don't
you
have
have
a hole to, they don't have a place that could have a hole to dig anymore.
a fucking spade. You haven't got an account to pick up a spade. You haven't got a worker to put his foot on the spade. You haven't got a worker to operate that, whatever digger to dig the fucking hole in the first place for your poxy little erection that you want to put in there that represents the office renting itself out to an office, to another office, to 2,800 Gateway Drive blueprint that we're already exposed. If anybody wants to go back into, if you can get in there anymore,
The
into
file section.
the Facebook account, into files, and you'll see it all for yourself. That is what they do
Ah, they
to
want to get in there, but it's just there's so many requests right now to come onto that Facebook group of ours, and just there's no point accepting it because they just come on and they start posting absolute bullshit on the page. They don't care about the files or anything. I don't know what it is about these people that they don't want to think for themselves, really.
Don't
So yeah.
don't get protective over just a box on a screen that's got all
Oh no,
universal.
I'm not getting protective about it. I'm just saying
No,
this. It's just
like we just
yeah.
finished what I was saying. So that's
Hmm.
why I've let everybody in there. So that the people who give that any value, Facebook has got no value whatsoever to any of us who have or may not have been implied to have anything associated to that, because it has been used to misidentify us with.
Hmm.
So that's why shit in, shit out. We've let all of the dross in and we've pulled the good bits out. They're not
Hmm.
there. You're not going to communicate with any Emma Ben who's got anything of any worth to impart with you if you're still looking for
Yeah.
them.
On the group. Yeah,
Or,
I get it.
or
Yeah,
in your
correct.
WhatsApp groups or whatever. You'll
Hmm.
find them in the gardens, growing the food, and you'll find them in the courts, making sure that the people's remedy is being ministered correctly. You'll now find them sitting in roles inside government buildings because it's been secured, and we have performed one of the biggest coups that anybody has lived to see.
Yeah,
And
baby.
yeah,
Yeah, baby. We did. And the infiltrators don't know that they got infiltrated. My universe will know.
they do now. They
Back
do.
to origin. Thank you.
They're having to recite. You remember that thing where I read it out of a book and
Hmm.
about the one heaven thing about the rule of law, and
Hmm.
they put it on YouTube, and there's somebody saying, "Oh, she says you can read it out of a book." At least fucking read it. You don't even have to read it aloud. I've had to read it aloud because all of you, if you all know this, and I'm just somebody reading it out of a book and bah ha ha, then why am I having to read it out of a book in the first place? Why is it relevant? Why are all of these millions of people come to us if it wasn't relevant? And it was relevant because it wasn't being implemented and it wasn't being heard and it wasn't being used and it was being suppressed. And so now we're hearing them stand up and read it out in the House of Lords. Well, it's now the House of Commons. We just knocked through. So that is where universal law is obvious to anybody who cares to have a look. And we don't want to even take the credit for it. The credit is not singly ours. The it's all of ours. It's all of the people who bothered to carry on going, and even the ones we thank you, even the ones that are dressing up and pretending to be Minister Emma Benz now, or dressing up and pretending to be the actors in the stories that cover up the exemplification because they can't speak the truth. When they come out and they admit that the whole reason why they've had to undo everything that they did is when we get to that point, that's the bottom of the box. That's the box itself. That's what we've contained unsubstantiated claims in. And you'll find that we are the framework around it that's contained it. That's what we're talking about now, is about how they're having to but now we've got away from the gloss and the hypothesis and the definition and the people that were upholding it. Now we can see what the problem was, and we need to rework the framework of it. So the last 3 years was the reworking of the framework of the legal system, gone over there in the box at business commerce, all of it. If you want to play the game of business and commerce, off you go over there. And but you have you got you can't include you. They won't be able to include you all into their game of business commerce anymore. And that was the only division that we really needed. If you want to go and play your game of casino, off you go over there. But you're not using the people and their rights to do it with. That's it.
Yeah.
And anybody who wants to, they can read the agreement.
Yeah. Or
Um,
you can come and play casino at Kindness Credits Casino and have your rights restored.
I don't you dare. Just scrub that, right? Nobody can play casino with kindness credits.
Oh no, no, just not that way though.
What, what is casino then if it's not that way? Is it
Oh,
backwards?
not their definition of it.
Right, okay. The banker has to give you, yeah, there you go. Banker has to refund you all your money. So all these people are getting refunds now. They're
Yeah,
getting
discharge. Yeah.
because that's the only way that they can use their account. So imagine that you've been at war and there's repatriations, and the people who are responsible for the war now have to refund you and rebuild your nation from the destruction that they've caused. That's the bit that you're at now.
Yeah.
So you come out of the Third World War or the Second World War that was extended with extra time, using the legislation, acts and statutes that created Uniform Commercial Code, and it is that has gone. So please don't be putting UCC 1207308 on your. It's gone. Don't be
It's gone.
even call yourself ministry. I'm a little tree. I put another one. A little mini streamy.
Uh,
So, or a mini stream. I'm a mini stream. The flow of condensed water.
mhm.
You know
All
what? You
energized.
put your
Ionized.
definition on it. Or don't put any definition on it at all, especially as in Babylonian bollocks, which is what we're supposed to have dissolved. So, minister only exists, remember, in a hierarchy system that we haven't got, we don't uphold, we don't acknowledge. We don't need to use that title anymore. It is defunct. And the more people who stop using the title minister now and get that message, guess what will happen to all of the other people who are using minister? That won't exist either. And so in a hierarchy system and a non-hierarchy system, you can't have minister, can you? You can't have chief, you can't have attorney general, you can't have lord, you can't have king, can you?
Have any title.
Right, so that's where we're going with this. It's the dissolution of feudalism is what we're all about. And the those people running around saying, "I'm minister of event." No, you're not. Any right of use that had been implied to anybody who thought that they had the right of use of minister and ben, it's now dissolved. You don't have a right of use of minister and ben. You have the right of use of whatever it is that you create. That's it. And so really what you're doing at the minute is you're doing the same thing in the opposite, which is where they've got you at now, where you're still acknowledging a hierarchy system and claiming that you're the minister of it. And that's why we said to them all the way back in 2019 when the chief of police ran out, "Oh, Mrs. Minister, hang on a minute. I didn't say I was your minister. I said I was the minister of my own shit, my own energy and matter in movement." That's why we called ourselves Minister of Event. Now, that's why I might have referred to myself then as Minister of Event. Call yourself something yourself, guys. Give yourself your own definition, whatever it is. But stop using something that was only created to dissolve the hierarchy system in your mind. Do not continue to use anything that represents hierarchy without unconsciously upholding hierarchy. You've got to get to that point and snap that synapse and move into your own definition. Let other people define you.
Yep.
You know, somebody said about bailiffs and rocks in the red, and I automatically was assumed to have meant that I threw rocks in bailiffs' heads. Look at that. So even when you offer the most purest, beautiful, kindest love that there is, somebody will take it and try it and interpret it and put their dirty definition on it. But you just don't join them in there, really.
Yeah, that's what exactly. That's why I just stay out of it.
And that's why
Practice
we're not
not
in
do it
the
anymore.
WhatsApp groups. And that's why we're not. Well, that's why we do these one-to-one phone calls now, and so that we can still get the information out to you. Take it if you want, or run around after somebody claiming to be something that they're not, using a title that you now haven't got the right of use of. It's gone.
Yeah, yeah. Now I want to see of them what they were claiming against me, saying, "Oh, it's
Trying
1160's
to see,
fault that he was inside."
let's see really now what your energy and matter being ministered by you in movement looks like now. 3035 or any of the others, Dijon, or the people who are running around saying, taking the credit. That's what those people represent. They represent the usurpation. They think that it's all right to go and usurp somebody else and claim that that idea or that flow of energy is theirs, and then capitalize on it and then sell it back to you. And then, so is that not a replica of the very system that we've just
And
got
then
rid of?
say we don't have any trust in the one that taught us everything.
Yeah, okay, good.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Now we know exactly where you're at. Thank you.
Well, you know, we didn't need you. The whole point was we didn't do this because we wanted you to put your trust in us. We did this
Mm.
because we put our trust in ourselves, and we just did it no matter what. Now,
Yeah, so that you
for
could
me,
put your trust in yourself as well. You know,
put
it
your
just
trust in yourself and go and do whatever it is that you trust yourself to do. And if you get to the point, then that's what I'm saying. If somebody did turn around and say, then at that point, oh, I've had enough now, I'm really legal fiction, get me a lawyer, get me out of here, give me the phone call. It counts for nothing. The at the point where you become attuned, any implied hypothesis about what it was that this mind was going to be able to represent inside their system just went zero.
yep. Poof.
Anyway, and that's the wonderful thing about the universal law. Because you can't use it to abuse people and their rights with. And that is our standing. If we don't need to know the internet, how did you do it? How did this work? How does that work? All we care about is the what. What effects did the thing that you did do to these people? That's it.
Yeah. The deed. Yeah.
But it's the what. We don't give
Mm.
two shakes of anything. We don't even give two Arab sheikhs with two big oil fields for anything to do with the how. We don't care how. We know it's proceeds of crime because these people they're homeless, they're starving, they haven't got a means to support or sustain themselves. We don't give a shit how you did it. We just we can see it's
Yeah, but
unlawful.
their ultimate demise is just this, that they are tax students now. Oh my mind. They're in for they're in for such a walloping right now. It's not even a joke.
They are, and yeah,
Children, they're doing this to children. They're beating up children right now on the streets. Yes, it's insane.
I don't believe it, right? I don't
Yeah,
believe because we know that all of it is staged, right? So this is the
yeah, it's
message that we're
staged.
getting
Yeah.
across. It's a staged event to cause division, to get you then to not become one like the orcas do to the little herrings. They divide and rule. Just watch what the orcas do. And instead of behaving like the herrings where they allow themselves to be divided, they're the ones that get eaten, guys. The ones who allow themselves to be divided get battered by the orca's tail and they get sucked up. So
Mm.
you decide whether you want to be divided or not. And uh, and it turns out, do you know what? When you say I'm not going to be divided from my source, it doesn't matter where you put me, or in this cell, or in that cell, or in this container, or that container, or down a fucking hole. It doesn't really matter because I know I'm connected to my source. It's
Mhm.
that. I don't need to run around and say, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you help me? Can I get a phone call? Can you give me some food, please? I can eat. They can fuck off. I don't
No, no,
need.
we would have stayed longer inside if the trust would, if we could speak to the trust. Oh my God.
Oh,
But
and what's
no,
the
we
trust?
committed
Do you know
Chonta
what?
again.
Do you know what the trust is going to say? If their trust gets a phone call from somebody and they're inside the prison, we know that it's a setup. Why
Yeah.
do we know? Because we know that anything that comes out of your mouth after this point is from somebody who's completely deluded about what it is that they're doing. So either you picked up the Minister and Ben name, the title, in order for you to try to usurp it, to convert it to because you're controlled opposition, or you're an incapacitated legal minor and you didn't really comprehend what it is that Minister and Ben represents or implies to represent because you've made the phone call. Don't ring us, or ringing us up and saying, "Oh, I found this out, and I need you to get a phone call in. I need you to do this. I need you to do that." No, you really don't. You, for the people that you're saying that you need us to do it for, no, you want us to do it for you. You want us to compromise the mind of the minister, whoever it is in there calling themselves Minister Emma Ben, because your mind can't rest. Because you haven't taken care of probably even understanding your man or the woman that you're now saying that you're concerned about. If you were so concerned about them, why didn't you try to comprehend what it was that they were saying to you? And if what they were saying to you was, don't bother trying to contact me if this happens, don't try to do anything because I'm doing it myself with my connection to universal law. I don't need anything else. You can throw 2 policemen in the air with that if they try and attack you.
Yeah.
Because this energy that comes to you that gives you
Yeah.
something.
But you know what I did realize when I had the opportunity to do that, when they smacked me, and I had the opportunity to defend myself and smack them right back, I chose not to. I was like, because it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Not
It's not
talking
worth it.
about that. I'm talking
Oh,
about
okay.
if they I'm talking about where you've got 2 of them on your arms and they're trying to force you to put your fingerprints into a machine or onto somewhere so that they can then misidentify you.
Yeah, but turns out even when they do that, the machine doesn't accept it and it gets spoiled. That's what happened to me.
Exactly. The computer says no. Oh, they override the computer. How about this one? They override the computer, put their own data in. The meta tag data tells everybody what date it was that they overrode the computer. That's a great
Mm,
one.
yeah,
It's
they get
beautiful, that little
they stitch themselves up completely every time.
totally. So, and you
And
don't
it's
know
a culmination of all of that. I think that's what
any
we're seeing right now. Yeah.
anybody who thinks that you need a phone call. Anybody who thinks that you need a phone call do not comprehend what it is that you've told them about what it is that you're doing, and therefore then they're not a benefit for you. They're going to create a liability for you, that mindset. So
Mm.
if you haven't gone out of your way to try to help the people around you who might be affected in their mind by your sudden disappearance or abduction or hostage taking, or whatever you want to call it, being held a ransom, used as a commodity, so that they can force you into contract because they haven't got enough names in their box to even take another breath next week as an organisation, then you haven't done that's your bit right.
Yeah,
So
due diligence.
and what we saw is that we saw the loose minds of all of these other people that were around going, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, you're fucking chill. And you don't even know
Yeah.
it. You are controlled opposition because you are opposing what it is. It's like them coming and saying, well, why have you done that? Why have I
Mm.
done what? I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Tell me what it is that I did. And then I can tell you why I did it, but you don't sit me down and just say, right, you need to tell us what it is you've done. You go, hang on, where do I start? Where would you like me to start? I want to tell all. I'm a truth teller, but I want to know who it is that I'm telling what to, what you're going to
Yeah.
use for and why.
Use it for it.
Are there any implications to incriminate other people? If so, I haven't got anything to say. You want me to incriminate other people? You want me to blame? They came to me, do you know, they said, they were shouting, we know it's the men that are making you do this. Tell us about the men. Tell us about the men that are making you do these things. Well, I know what you want me to say there. I know you want me to take the liability, so I will. So, I will take responsibility for all of that because I have never said, and I never would, because it isn't true, that anybody has made me do this other than myself. So when they said that we need to take some notes now because we put our hands on you, I fucking made you do it. I have ministered you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have orchestrated this and this and this. These are the reasons why and that, and put me in the court. Oh no, that's why we're giving you a fake name because you can't get you in. If we put you in the court and you say that, then that'll be the end of what it is that you're talking about, which is us doing this to people en masse for profit.
Yeah, that's when the district magistrate ran away from us while we were inside. Same thing. He was like, I'm
What?
looking out for my government's liabilities. I was like, well, I shouldn't be in here if you're doing that.
Exactly. If you look, that we did this for our communities, and we've got these people running around so with their robes and their rolls and their big fat salaries and their big cars and their big houses, saying, "Oh, look at what a great job we do for the people." It looks like you've got people and yourself mixed up a bit there. Looks like you're
Hmm.
trying to make out that you're giving this wonderful service to the people, and that's why we need to pay you. We need to pay these people who are fucking us over huge amounts of money, apparently.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe I don't know where I got that belief from. The best person for the job is the one who will have we have to pay the most money for the best person for the job, otherwise we won't get them. Hello. Over here, you've got the best people for all jobs who do it because they care about the people in their community. Oh, we're going to call you a communist now. You can call us whatever the fuck you like. It doesn't matter. Because that's an unsubstantiated claim, and you can go and stand in the COVID box. See ya.
Yeah, go talk to Stalin and Karl Marx, maybe. Don't talk to me.
Talk to the hand. It says fuck off, I don't do commercial intercourse, remember? In all languages, it turns
They're
out.
like, oh, you abused me, so you came in the line of my duty. Oh, well, fuck off.
Yeah, so you've created a barrier. I can't really convey myself any further because it's stand and deliver. You're the highway robber dressed in the uniform, trying to take levies and taxes for your feudal lord because you can't fucking work out what it is that you're a part of. Cartel operating system. Or you go and shine your badge and say, "Hey, I'm a special cop." You know, I've arrested all these people who did what exactly? Who came to you and said, "Look, guys, there's some evidence here. You're the police. I think we need to investigate." Off you go to prison for coming and showing me that. How dare you? How dare you come and show me the evidence that my job is corrupted and that I am a criminal? Let me,
You want
let
me
me
to do my job?
write in a magazine about you and then send it to the magistrates so that all the magistrates you're already guilty before you even get in the fucking court. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you for not only validating what it is that I said that you were doing, but evidencing it for me as well. Thank you.
Yeah,
For my
it's
next.
amazing though how that spiral's just taken us. Every time that they did that, they started off another spiral of going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then the reason they were doing this was to, earn the slave tokens for their family apparently. And now they won't have the job that pays them to take care of their families by
It
doing
goes
the same
deeper and
thing.
deeper. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But then when you turn the fucking thing over, it's popped out the other side as
Yeah,
the alpha and
exactly.
the omega spiral. So it looks like going down and down and down the rabbit hole. Okay, but keep going, guys, because the rabbit hole flips over, and suddenly you can see the hierarchy mechanism that you represented in your mind. Inverted now, if you want, or you can carry on climbing up the non-existent mountain to try to get yourself to an esteemed position within this corrupted spiral that we can just go and flatten and use it as a frisbee if we want.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. So to you now, to me, without any court, the only court we'll have is when you caught the frisbee.
Yeah.
Some Olympic games of frisbee throwing.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for that. If you can put that up.
Yeah,
Um,
I will.
and
Should I? I'll stop the recording now.
yeah.